How to manage multiple construction projects. In this video, I'm going to not only talk about how to manage multiple construction projects from one person's point of view, but from multiple people's point of view, and to provide a method and approach that you can use to tackle multiple projects regardless of your role. And so if these individual topics and the approach and actually saving, I'm going to keep it conservative, like 12 hours a week is interesting to you, then you've come to the right video, so stay with us. Okay everyone, I am super excited about this because before in this channel, which I'm not being snarky, I'm being real. If you subscribe to, you'll get the videos. But I've talked about how a project manager can manage multiple construction projects and how many they can manage. It sometimes has to be done, I'm sure, some meaning from an individual role. It especially needs to be done by project executives, project directors, and business owners. So how can you do it well? Ideally, we want somebody on one project focused, no context switching. But is that really possible? Not all the time. I will warn us that anything over 5 is very, very dangerous from this standpoint. And when I say dangerous, I do think that's the right term. When we lose operational control, somebody could get hurt. It might be dangerous for our health, for our family, for the environment. Like, we need to be really careful with this. So I'm going to take you through that process, but let me just give you an overall view of what it's like to run multiple projects as a project manager. If you, just from that view, and then we'll expand it out. If you're running multiple projects, you're suffering from the main disease of what's called context switching. When you do tasks outside of one piece flow, meaning you start, do something else, do something else, do something else, you're adding 5 to 15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes. You're just adding time. Sometimes it's all the way up to 45 minutes because of context switching. And so if you, let me just give you an example. If you did your day where you start, distract, get back, and you're just writing things on a to-do list, never really finishing anything, your day can extend at least by 2 to 3 hours. But if you in your day, you have a couple of distractions, but you plan the meeting, do the meeting, finish the meeting, plan the task, do the task, finish the task. Maybe get a little bit distracted, but go start to review that submittal, finish and send that submittal. You just do things in one piece flow. You will save that 2 to 3 hours of time. And typically project managers will have multiple projects, meetings at different times throughout the week, lots of distractions, people calling them all the time. And the key is to adopt a personal organization system, time block your days, consolidate the focus for projects throughout the week, organize the meetings to where it works with your schedule, check in with your field teams at a set time in the morning, and then really zone out with production time, working in one piece, one process flow. You can at least save 12 hours a week doing that. So that's the perspective. When it becomes more than 5 projects, it's literally impossible to manage the 6th project that's active and that takes a lot of your time. But we really need an approach that we can use in any position. So let's cover them one by one. Number 1, establish clear objectives. I don't care if you're a PM, I care about you, but I don't care like whether you're a PM or a superintendent or an engineer or a project director. Establish clear objectives. This is key. If you're a project executive, it's your vision statement or it's your conditions of satisfaction. If it's the PM, it's project expectations, clearly articulated in a charter. If you're a superintendent, it's in all of your planning documents. Whatever position you're in, make sure the objectives are clear, because if you are not at that project, the people that are on that project need to know where they're going. Number 2, develop a detailed project plan. And again, this goes through any position. Let me use the superintendent position for this one as an example. Let's say that you're a superintendent and you are running multiple projects. When you go, and obviously you have your master plan, but when you go and do your look ahead planning, your weekly work planning, and create with the trade partners the sequences, instead of like on a regular job you would do day planning for 1 day, well, if you're going to be gone for 2 days, that planning has to be 3 days out, and you've got to empower your leads to make adjustments and to recover from delays real time while you're gone. Number 3, use project management software. If you cannot be on one location, then some of the handwritten visuals may not be the best use of your time. Maybe instead of an actual whiteboard, maybe use an online application like Mural, right? So use technology, use project management software. When you have multiple projects, it's going to aggregate that together. It's going to give you access access wherever you are, and it's going to make sure that it's visible by a remote team. 4, hire a strong team. If you are not going to be on site, you have to have strong people there that can be a safety and quality presence in the field. Somebody who can address questions, who can organize, who can do a really good job for the trade partners on the project site and make sure that they're clearing roadblocks. So hire a strong team, and this will do more for you actually in being able to manage this than almost anything else you can think of. Number 5, monitor progress regularly. I love this. This should all be very, very quick. You should know your handoff percentage, your percent plan complete. You should know your remaining buffer ratio and how many buffers you have left. You should know exactly what your roadblock removal average is. You should be able to see your financial projections, see how you're tracking from a production standpoint, anything that you need to know at least on a weekly basis. Now, like a higher level project status report or monthly status report, whatever you call them, could be in order, but make sure that you have the right, and I'm going to call it a crystal ball, but these are metrics, these are tools that you can look into to see and evaluate the health of the project. I remember a really great operations manager at Hensel Phelps. He was named J.W. Bosted. I don't know if I'm supposed to remember that or not, but he had this thing called the Book of 14, and they were 14 key things from the project, and it would be like the status on BIM, the status of RFIs, the status of submittals, the status of the overall schedule, right? And he could go through there and assess the health of the project and then dig in with the team, and it was so remarkable from an effectiveness standpoint that Hensel Phelps adopted it as the Book of 14 and started to use it in 0.1 third point, 2 third points reviews throughout the project. So if you're going to have multiple projects as an ops manager, project director, project executive, you've got to have that visibility to make sure that you're tracking well. 6, maintain clear communication. This is huge. I cannot say enough about this. I'm going to mention email, but I don't want it to be used as the default. So reduce the email. But I'm talking text messages. I'm talking phone calls. I'm talking quick Zoom check-ins. You can even on Microsoft Teams use the chat function, but being able to have clear communication at any time to any of your projects is key, and sometimes that's going to have to be standardized, stabilized, and time blocked at a key time duration. For instance, if you have a morning huddle with your project, that's standard time blocked communication. If you have a time when all of your supers, if you're a PM, will call you and say, this is when I'm going to call you to talk, I'm not going to bug you the rest of the day, that is a set time block time. But for everything else, use fast and effective communication channels. Number 7, manage risks. The way you manage risks is in your pre-con planning, you identify the risks, and then in your risk and opportunity register, you assign it to somebody so that they're always monitoring it, and then you check in weekly in your team meeting. And so those risks always, we need to know them, they need to be assigned, and they need to be tracked weekly. Number 8, and I think you're going to love this, but this is a little bit hard, implement standard processes. If you're finding yourself having to explain what is an RFI, what is an RFI, what is an RFI, just over and over and over, and it's distracting you, why not put together like a little list or a little video or a Canva graphic and say, hey, this is it. Or simply on WhatsApp, you can just say, hey, I've been getting this question asked a lot. How do we do this with an RFI or submittal or whatever? If you're a PM, obviously. You can just create a little video, create a little Canva graphic, create a little guide, create standard work. And what I want everybody to realize is that, like, if I couldn't, and I want you to take this into your own role, if I couldn't be on a job all the time, I would definitely have visual boards or online boards where the standards and things I need them to know are there, instructions, look ahead plans, emergency response plan, whatever it is, it's all in one location, and all I have to do is get the stuff that they would normally ask me in person onto that board before I leave for the duration to check on another project. The key here is to automate and to design a system that doesn't need you to be there all the time. So organize the team, make sure that they have the right plan, make sure that together, make sure they have the resources and the culture and the visual systems to follow those instructions while you're gone. Then you can do your check-ins and basically report out and make sure that you know when to dig in based on what you're seeing. Now, one last thing that you probably wouldn't have expected me to say is that if you have multiple projects, the best thing that you can do is let them learn from each other. So do not silo. Again, attempt to, well, if you can, I don't think people are too busy, but have this job site tour over here or share data and information over here. have them become one larger entity, not just individual separate projects. Have them learn from each other, adopt a similar culture, similar way of talking about things, similar operating system, and they all need to tie into a system that allows the leaders to not be there 100% of the time and synchronize together with respect to the whole, not just each individual project. And so I'm going to link you to a blog post that covers this so you can basically use this in your daily work. And I'm also going to give you those other 2 videos that talk about how many projects a project manager can manage and then how to manage multiple projects as a project manager. That's where we dig in deep. And I really think you're going to love this. At the end of the day, I really want that time back for you. So please take this video to heart. I hope you've loved it. On we go.